Just do the usual. So everything from here on in is for 10:30 this evening, Friday the 17th of September. So everything from now till 10:30. We've got in order Dominic King, Paul Joyce, and Chris Baskin for this section. Dom.
Jurgen, a year ago today, the club were completing the deal for Thiago Alcantara to sign. A year ago today, I was just going to say, how would you assess that first year, and how much more do you think there is to come from him?
Oh, much more. Of course, the start was not perfect because we came here and it was got COVID, got injured early and stuff like this. That of course makes everything more difficult. But he showed what kind of player he can be for us and will be for us. So there's lots more to come, of course. So maybe it's now a year, but if you want, it's actually only half a year. Because of all the things that happen around, coming then in a new club, in the most difficult period of all our lives, he settled really well. Despite that, family is here, loves it here. He is in the middle of the team, so it was very quick the case, and he's a really good character, a really good personality, and obviously a world-class player. So no, it's all fine.
Okay, Paul, follow up.
Jurgen, what do you ask him specifically to do in games? Can you explain a little bit about the tactical instructions that you give him? Just so we can understand exactly what it is.
Thiago?
How you want it. Thiago, please, yeah.
That's always different, obviously, with players, because there are some natural skills what the boys have, and in Thiago's case, that's for sure all the things we would right under the headline. All the technical stuff is kind of easy for him. So, but of course he has to adapt to the way we play, to the way we defend, all these kind of things. So he played probably more often at Munich in a rather double 6 role, maybe the slightly more offensive player in the double 6. But for us, it's a complex position. You have to be offensive, you have to be defensive, you have to be really in between the lines. You can drop, but not always in the last line to receive the ball, these kind of things. But actually, he's a natural footballer. That's not that we now give him like 50, 60 different things to do in a game. We want him to play his football with some little things which he had to adapt to the way we play. And he did that. So that's all fine. I don't ask him now for constant runs in behind the last line or stuff like this. He is like is a playmaker, obviously, that can be sometimes a little bit deeper, but it must be very often between the two interesting lines of the opponent as well in a more close area. But with this passing, he can change the game immediately. He has a great vision. He is really good in that and can chip balls in each area he wants to. It's with like a golfer, actually, a good golfer, world-class golfer. He can do that obviously without thinking. And I love the way he plays, and it's all good. So how is that? It's a complex position, the 8 for us, but we always, because we have their different skill sets, we use the different skill sets from time to time when we think this skill set makes more sense against this opponent. So more dynamic, more runs in behind, more natural offensive, more natural defensive, all these kind of things. So that's the reason for different lineups.
Thank you, Paul. And then to finish, Chris Baskin.
Hi again. Yeah, it's the same theme, really. I mean, I don't know whether you know, but Thiago, Fabinho and Henderson, they've only ever started in the same midfield once. We all know the reasons why. You've not had a chance really to pick them. I mean, is it in a way Thiago now joining the squad of a year ago, if you like? I mean, I think you said last year, we should try with this squad because we haven't seen them yet because of all the injuries, and now you have that squad. Are we actually going to? I don't know whether you understand what I'm asking you there, but you get my drift. He's not really had. He's not joined the Liverpool's. He's now at the Liverpool squad. He should have been a year ago, if you like.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Which game did they start together? I don't know.
It was a memorable one. It was the derby at Goodison Park.
Wow. And there's a good reason for why they didn't start that often together, obviously. No, but that's obviously the only reason. Of course, they can play together. It's a little bit like, we need, how I said, that can work really well together and will happen probably in the future. That's no doubt about that. But how I said, we have so many different skill sets, and I don't have a first three in midfield. Why should I? The boys have to offer in training. If they offer in training, then I have to make decisions. And obviously, we try, even when we have only 3 days time between two games, we try to prepare it to get the opponent as serious as possible. And that means, how can you make little advantages? It's not just that you push through always exactly what you want to do. Maybe there are some different opportunities in the game against the other opponent. So we have to try to use that. And that's what we do. So, but it's nothing to do with Thiago or whatever. The Premier League is too intense to talk now. Imagine we would have 4 midfielders only, and 3 of them have to play all the time, and the one is coming in from time to time. That just doesn't work. This is a very intense position with a lot of intense challenges where we have to be as fresh as possible to be just ready to face them, and that's what we do. But yeah, Thiago. Again, this year the start was not perfect. So because of Euros, he came slightly later. Then he came here, was injured, and then he could start the preseason later with us. So that's not perfect, but it's not a massive problem. Meanwhile, we are now in the match day 5. 5? Yes. For match day 5 in the Premier League. So we get there. We're getting there, but it's a long season to come. And again, each little bit you can get fitter to be ready for that, we try to use. And while we do that, maybe sometimes other players have to play. They with the full preseason, and then there's the autumn coming, the winter coming, spring coming, and then the all decisive early summer coming, and hopefully we can keep them all fit and fresh. Then we will be a really tough cookie to play against.
You got a follow-up, Chris?
I just wondered, was there a kind of plan against just evolve the midfield? Because of the tried and trusted that was so successful with Ginny, Hendo, and Fabinho, who, I know you'll say that there's differences, but essentially they weren't the same as Harvey, for example, when you bring across Harvey and he's a more attacking player. So what was your intention this year, to just have that little slight more attacking person in the 3? Or is that just something that evolves naturally? Or
we try to develop every year, so that's how it is. We evolve every year, so that one thing you saw now, a really flexible triangle on the right side. Again, I would say it was that flexible that in the end Mo Salah had to defend the right fullback position because Trent was in the box and Hendo was in the middle of the park or whatever. We want that, but of course we are still in the process to set that really gets settled, and we are not that exposed in a situation like that. But apart from that, it gives you always offensively a little advantage, but defensively you're slightly more open. So you have to figure out, you have to get the rhythm for that it's exactly right. But that's for sure different to last year. We want to do that on both wings. We need flexible triangles. It needs to get supported. Usually when Bobby's playing, a lot of support from him by dropping, but especially in the last game we didn't want that. We did it differently, and so these are the things we talk about. So it's not that we only tell them who's the next opponent and play the same stuff again. We really try to improve, and we really try to develop. And for that, the door is open, very open for everybody to be part of that. And so far it worked out really well. And with Harvey, it was just nice to see how naturally he did that. Without a young player like him, you don't fill with 500,000 informations. You just let him play and have a look. Okay, what's natural and where can he hit, needs a little advice or whatever. And he didn't need a lot of advice. He just played a position. It was really nice to see. That's why he played. He was there in the full preseason, had all the sessions. That's why he played. But now Hendo played the position. And Naby came in on the other side and played a super game offensively. It was really dominant and all that stuff. So it's nice to see that we can do that. And again, I said it's the engine room of a football team, this midfield. And we have only 3 proper and not 5 or whatever. Means they have to be fit and they have to be really in charge of the game as much as we can. And that's why we decide from time to time like this or like that.
Thanks, guys. Stay safe. I'll speak to some of you on Saturday after the game.